background. Well, we all use PowerPoint. Okay, so there's no surprises, right? Well, there are a few surprises. And we've all sat through death by PowerPoint as well at some point. Maybe we have produced a death by PowerPoint at some point. I know I have. And really, what I'm wanting to do today is just show you some tips and tricks for how to make your PowerPoint presentations a bit more engaging, be able to make them look a wee bit more professional, and especially if you're going out into a workplace and you have to maybe do a presentation for your boss, maybe even, and actually a lot of interviews now. I know I've been at quite a few interviews myself where I've been given a laptop, given a theme or topic and said, okay, you've got 20 minutes to prepare your presentation for your interview using PowerPoint. And, you know, that can certainly, for somebody who is a wee bit more nervous about IT, that can put a real fear into them. They might know their topic, but how do you actually make it look good on a PowerPoint slide? That can really put you off, especially in an interview. So hopefully today you'll find some features that you might not have been aware of that are going to just help you and make you feel more relaxed when you're making PowerPoint presentations. So we're going to start off, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so at the minute you should see a blank slide, yeah. And the first thing we're going to start with is called master slide. And this is basically so that you can have that professional layout throughout your entire slide deck without having to keep copying and pasting little images or logos into every single slide and it not being perfectly lined up. That does my head in, by the way. So there's a quick way of doing this. So to do this, what you need to do is go to the View menu and you're going to click on Slide Master. Okay. Now, tip about Slide Master is, for some reason unknown to anybody apart from the Microsoft gods, is that it does not go to the very first slide in Slide Master. You have to scroll up. Okay, so please do not forget that. If you start editing this slide, that is not going to edit all of the slides in the slide deck. You need to go to the very, very top of your slide viewer. Okay, so once you click on this one, you can see the little dotted lines. That is the master of all slides. So any edits that you do on this slide will appear on every single slide layout that you insert into your deck. So say, for instance, I want to insert insert down here a footer and I want to put my name on. Okay, Jackie Smith, right? That will then appear on every single slide in my deck. The same with the date or any other thing that you want to put in, slide numbers, for instance, okay? If you want to insert the likes of a logo or a little image or a picture that you want to apply in every slide, it's the same as you would do for any other normal slide. Just hit an insert, go to your pictures, this device, whatever it is that you want to do, and then you can just go and insert. I'm just going to choose a random logo here, insert the logo. I'm going to resize it down because that's a bit big, and just place it wherever it is that you want it to go. Okay, now that will then appear, and you can can you just see there, that appears in all the slides. Doesn't matter what layout it is, if it's title slide or title and content or whatever, that appears in every one, and it's lined up perfectly. Yay. Okay, the other thing that you can do on your master title slide is you can apply themes and background styles, fonts, colors, effects, and again those will apply through every single slide so that it gives you consistency. So for instance, you might go to the theme and say, well, I quite like this groovy green one here, I'm going to click on that, and that will then automatically adjust the theme to suit whether it's a title and content, double content, what, blank, whatever it is. All right, and it will just edit that. And the same with fonts. So and colors as well, actually. You can change the color theme, say, well, actually, I like the blue because it fits better with the logo. You can go to fonts and you can choose a different font style. You might say, well, actually, I quite like the Century Gothic. That's quite nice, and it will do that. And that's your default font for every single slide. Now, if, for instance, you think, well, that's nice, but actually, I want a completely different title slide. That's okay. You can see that this slide here is not connected to the rest of them. It's on its own. So if I change the color, say, for instance, of this one, and I say, well, I want this one to be the yellow theme, I can check, oh, shakers, it's changed it all. That should not have happened. This is very embarrassing. You should be able to change that. Give me a second. That has changed all of them. Right, I'm going to come back to that because that's very annoying. That should not have happened. But anyway, we'll just we'll leave that for now, and we'll go to back to our main screen. So we'll close master view. And here we are, we've got our title slide. Now, say for instance, we want to insert a title and content. We click on it, it goes in there, and we can have whatever type of slides we want. All right, and our logo, you can see, appears on all of the slides. Okay, so that's master slide. All right, I am going to come back to that color thing because that's annoyed me. So that will not beat me today. All right, so that's the title slide, or that's the master view. Okay, now I'm going to change over to my Blue Peter one, the one what I did earlier. So this is a PowerPoint that's already been created. And one of the things that sometimes you might need to do is to add notes to your PowerPoint slides so that you can keep track of what you want to say in case you forget. And you can also add in little hyperlinks and things that you might need to click on during the presentation so that it's easy to navigate to something else. And your notes pages really are quite easy to add in. So if I scroll down, this is the normal view that you get when you're creating a PowerPoint. And to find the notes page, the easiest way to get that is if you hover down to the bottom of the slide, get your double-headed arrow, click and drag up, there's your notes. Okay, so that's very easy, and you can just sit and type away. So that's number one. That's how to add notes in. To print your notes out, and sometimes it is easier when you're presenting to have your slides on the screen and have your notes beside you. So to print your notes out, you go to File, Print, and then instead of printing full page slides, change full page slides to notes pages. And then what that does is it will print your slide and your notes out so that you know where you are in your presentation. Okay, and obviously, Olivia, I know what you're going to say, save paper, save the planet. So we're going to print on both sides if you want to do that instead. All right, and that will save some paper. Okay, so that's printing notes pages. Now, what about if you've got two screens like I have, and you don't want to print out in paper and you want to view your notes on the screen while you're presenting? Well, PowerPoint has a clever little thing on slideshow called Use Presenter View. So when Use Presenter View is ticked, That will allow the audience to see the slide. It will allow you to see the slide, the upcoming slide, and the notes. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to share my screen. So I'm going to hit slideshow. Now, tell me what you can see. Can you see the full slide, or can you see my screen with the slide and the notes?
I can see the slide and the notes, and then the next slide.
Perfect. That's what I wanted you to see. Do you
Good.
see that? Yeah, that's good. I think I heard David there. Did you say the same, David?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's really cool. So basically, when you're if you're sharing just your actual PowerPoint, now I'm sharing my screen with you, not my PowerPoint, okay? And that's why you can see all of this. But if I was presenting normally, I would just share PowerPoints, the actual PowerPoint file, okay? And especially in Teams. Teams is great. And I actually need to say this, not every video conferencing system like Teams or Collaborate or whatever allows you to do this. Some will and some won't, so you do need to check it out first. Teams does, which is amazing. So it means that if I was presenting this, which I have done, I know that my audience will only see the slide, whereas I see what's coming up next. I can see my notes and I can scroll through. Can you see this? Yeah. So it's really good. I know exactly what I'm doing. So that is, I love Presenter View. I think it's fantastic. And I use it all the time. Okay. Right, I'm going to just go back to my other screen. Sorry, give me only a second. Oh, here's another wee quick tip. How many people know how to use Alt and Tab? So hold down Alt with your thumb and hit Tab and hit Tab, 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 Tab with your finger, and that scrolls through all the screens that you have open in the background. So there we go. There's another wee quick tip just on the side. That's for free. Okay, so that is presenter view. Okay, very cool. Now, here's another cool thing, and this is brand new from PowerPoint that you might not have seen before, and this is called Rehearse with Coach. So if you are nervous about making a presentation and you think, I don't know how long this is going to take, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, blah, 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 you can have a little rehearsal. And when you click on Rehearse with Coach, what happens is, let me see, I don't know if this is coming up on the screen. I don't think it is. Let me see if I can share the screen that I've got, because it's come up on a different screen now. I don't think I can share this one. I'm just looking here. No, it won't let me share it. But basically what's happening in the background is a little button is coming up. All right, I'm just trying to escape out of that. Okay, so a little button is coming up. Can you see this screen now where it says your rehearsal report?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
See that.
So basically what happens is you hit Rehearse with Coach. Your slide comes up. There's a little button which says Rehearse Now, and there's a tick box to say, do you want real-time feedback? And if you tick the box, what happens is as you go through your slides and you talk through it, if you're saying things like or ah too many times, it will pop up and go, you're using or ah too much. Or if you repeat yourself, or if you maybe are talking very monotone like this here, it will actually say, change your tone of voice as well. And it gives you tips. Now, in saying that, when you're rehearsing and this thing keeps beeping at you, it's really annoying and distracting. So I would tend to untick it and turn it off. And then what happens is at the end, when you're finished your presentation, you get a report like this, and it will say how long you spent, how many slides you rehearsed, how many words per minute. So this will come up. I obviously didn't do it for very long. And it'll give you some tips and tricks for fillers, inclusiveness, originality. And if you need more help with that, you just click on Learn More. And when you do that, then it will bring up, let's see if I can bring this down here. Can you see this? Suggestions from Presenter Coach.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so it will bring up tips to help you with your pace, with your filler words, etc., and all that there. So that's a really, and you can rehearse again. So that's a really nice new way for especially people who are very nervous about presenting, just to get a little bit of practice in. Okay, so do we like that one? Give us a wave, thumbs up, whatever you like. Okay, great. We're all going to have amazing presentations after this. All right. Where did we get to? So many things to teach you. Okay. This is one which people get very confused about, and that's you need to maybe insert slides from another PowerPoint. So instead of reinventing the wheel and having to start again, you know, if you already have slides from another PowerPoint presentation that you know will fit with the one you're doing, why not just use them? And then you can edit them slightly and you don't have to start all over again. So on your Home tab, if you go to the New Slide button, that's just, I'm just going to put my cursor in here between slides 2 and 3. Go to New Slide and go to Reuse Slides. You'll get a menu on the right-hand side opens up, and it will ask you, well, what slides from what presentation do you want to reuse? So you can, there gives you some examples here, or you can browse and just browse your files and find one that you want to use. All right, and it will appear into the right-hand one. So I'm going to say, I'm going to use this one, How Northern Ireland Works, and choose Content. And what this does then is it pops it into the right-hand menu, and you can actually see all the slides in that presentation. And you go, ooh, I quite like this, this steeple one. Steeple actually does fit with enterprise skills. I'm going to click Insert Slide, and hey presto, it just pops straight in to your slide deck. All right, and you can do that with as many slides from as many different presentations as you want. So there might be a couple from one PowerPoint that you want to use and a couple from a different PowerPoint, and you want to mishmash them all together. Just, you do that as many times as you want. Just click Browse, open another presentation, click Select Slides you want from there, and pop them in. Okay, so hopefully that is also another helpful shortcut. Okay, where do we get to now? So, oh yes, animations, right. Who doesn't love a good animation? Now, couple of tips on animations. Number one is try not to have too many different types of animation. It gets very confusing and messy and unprofessional. So you're going to try and just stick to one or two, really, you know, maximum of 3, depending on how many slides you have in your deck, but try and keep a bit of consistency there. There is a difference between transitions and animations. So could somebody tell me what is the difference between transitions and animations? Does anybody know?
Transitions is like how a slide from one to the other, but an animation is in like a picture spin or text flying in or fade out.
Good. Well done, Olivia. That's exactly right. So your transitions are how one slide moves to the next, okay? And an animation is how the text and objects appear on the slide. So for transitions, you may have seen, how many people saw my little Excel PowerPoint video or my little Excel Digital Boost video that I shared? and you will have noticed that the icon for Excel moved from a wee tiny icon on the first slide, and then all of a sudden it expanded and came into the second slide. And then at the very end, the Microsoft Office one went from a big logo right down to a very small logo on the last slide. And that's a new transition called Morph. So it's very exciting, but Morph will only work properly or best whenever you've got the same image in the two slides that you want to morph into. Does that make sense? So if you've got an image and it's quite small on one slide and you want to morph it into the next slide and have it bigger, then it will just do that. It'll grow and morph. If I have time by the end of the session, I'll pull that video up and show it to you just so you can see it in action. But basically, yeah, transitions are how you want to move from one slide into the next. And what I would say, my top tip for transitions is have one transition. Okay, that's it, one transition. Just choose one, keep it the same. All right. When you choose one, so say for instance, I want to choose push. If I click on push, it'll show me and click slide 2 because that's how you move from slide 1 into slide 2 and to see a preview of it. It will show me what it looks like and I go, yeah, that's okay, I'm quite happy with that. Then what you do is you go over to the right hand side of the ribbon and click apply to all. All right, and that's the quick way of doing it, and that'll just apply that transition to your whole slide deck. All right, now here's the other thing that people maybe don't realize is if you're doing a presentation manually, then yes, use mouse click because you want control over when you move from one slide to the next. If, however, you want a presentation to maybe loop in the background or play automatically on a big screen, for instance, in your office or somewhere else, then you know, set your timings. So untick mouse click and then set your timings. All right, so you want it to maybe move and have each slide display for 6 seconds or something like that there. Then advance slide after 6 seconds is what you need to do. All right, I'm going to go back to mouse click there. Okay, so that's transitions. Animations. So let me go to, let me see, go to this slide. Okay, so animations. So click on this slide and click animations. And click on animation pane. Now, what I have already done is you see in this slide, I already have animations set up. And you know that because you've got all your little numbers beside each animation. And over on the right hand side, when you click animation pane, it tells you what animations you have put there and in what order they come in. Okay. To get a preview, you just click on play all and it'll show you how those animations come in. And what I've done is I have set them up so that if you click on the little drop down arrow beside the animation, it will tell you what it is. So the very first one is start and click, but the next ones down there, yeah, they're start and click as well. But if I wanted those just to come in automatically, one after the other, if I click on the first one and hold down shift and click on the last one, it selects all of my animations at one go. Click on the little drop down arrow at the very bottom and hit start after previous. Now, do you see what that does to the timeline? Okay, so it has spread them out. So now automatically when I hit my slide, oh no, that hasn't worked, sorry. Okay, when I hit play all, those will just automatically come in without me clicking every single time. And actually, whenever you've got a lot of bullet points on a slide, you don't want to have to sit and click and click and click. As you're talking, it is much easier for them just to keep coming up in the background automatically. Okay, so that's a quick way of just evenly spreading out your text entrance that way. And obviously the type of entrance, again, you know, use one, you know, and then if you're using it, using an animation on another slide, you can use something else, but don't try to, you know, maybe just go between them. Maybe one or two different animations for your whole PowerPoint is more professional looking. All right. Okay, so that's animation tips. Okay, what time are we? Oh, okay, right.
Couple of minutes. Jackie,
Okay.
just before you go on any further, there's a question there from Angelina in the chat. I think it was in regards to the animations and transitions. Angelina's asked, what is the difference by doing this and by manually copying and pasting the slide that is there on the other presentation? Or no, maybe that was related to further back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Angelina, that's a good question. I mean, you can copy and paste a slide into your presentation. That's fine. But I just find it's easier, and it means that, yeah, it's just easier to be able to have a list of the slides on your right hand side and just click insert slide, you know, than copying and pasting in. It means, yeah, it's a bit more footery, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, either will work, but I just like that one because everything's on the one screen and you can choose which ones you want to bring in just from your one slide deck on the right and one slide deck on the left. It just makes it a wee bit more easy to work with. But no, a good question. Okay, presenter view. Did we do it yet? No, we did, didn't we? We did presenter view. Ooh, I know what we want to do. Right. Okay, so we have another, PowerPoint has brought up another new feature in the design tab. And this is especially for people who feel that they are, let's see, why is design ideas not going up? I'm going to bring up a different PowerPoint, a blank one maybe. I'm not quite sure why my design ideas aren't working. I'm going to bring up another PowerPoint slide here. Okay. Yeah, PowerPoint has come up with a new feature on the design tab called Design Ideas. And when you click this, it will give you lots of, especially if you're not a very creative person. I'm not very arty. Okay, I know technology, but I'm not very good at art and design. So it will bring up lots of different ideas for you to make your slides look sexier, as I call it. So like there's one there, and it'll, you know, pop in some nice colors to it, or maybe you like this sort of more bolder idea, and so on and so forth. And you can use those design ideas to create different layouts and different content. I'm just going to bring up the canvas as opposed to. Now, got somebody's sound on in the background there. Right, I'm just going to bring up a different PowerPoint just so that you can see this. Okay, so everybody can see that. So yeah, we have design ideas, if we have any. Some of the slides will allow you to get design ideas, and some of them, if the slides are too busy, it won't. And that one's too busy PowerPoint, so it won't let you. But basically, and I don't understand why Designer's not working for this. Right, I think I need a better example of a PowerPoint. Now this one should work. So that, but basically Design Ideas just allows you to glam up your PowerPoint and make it a wee bit kind of sexier. There we go. Right. Okay. So more kind of engaging and so on and so forth. So that's quite a cool new feature in PowerPoint, which I quite like as well. Obviously, if you choose one and you don't like it, you can just hit your undo button and that takes you back to the one that you had before. Do we like Design Ideas? Yeah? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think that is us at time. Yeah, and I think I've covered most of the new features of PowerPoint and some shortcuts there that hopefully will help you just make your slides, your slide deck more professional. Remember about master view to slide master to make your content seamless and consistent and professional. Don't forget about your slideshow presenter view and rehearse with coach just to practice and to make sure that you've got notes in there so that you're not losing your place. As you can tell, I'm not using notes today. Transitions, try and choose one just to move throughout your slide deck. Animations, again, use one or two. But definitely, I always use my animation pane for figuring that all out and manipulating it. And then don't forget to, what was the other thing I was going to say to you? No, I think that's it. So hopefully today, those have given you a few tips and tricks for PowerPoint that will help you be more confident and just make your PowerPoint presentations a bit more glamorous. Don't forget, that was the other thing I was going to say, do not over text your slides. All right, the slides are there as a prompt. They are not there to read out. All right, you're not putting all the text there. That's what notes are for. Your text and the slide is only a prompt. You're reading the notes. All right, guys, thank you so much, everybody.
Jackie, sorry, just to interrupt before you finish. There's a hand up there.
Jane?
Jane?
Yes.
Jane?
Go, Jane.
You got a
How are
question?
you?
Hey,
Nice to see you.
Jackie. It was just about changing the color of that slide on the title page. Is it because you still had the master slide tab open rather than working on the title
Yes,
page?
maybe. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. So slide master and yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably because I had that. I'm gonna have a look at that later when we're offline, and I'm gonna send you a wee message about that because that's there are things that you'll play about with and then you'll go, it's one of those things where, as I say, it's the 3 Ps. Practice, practice, practice. And if you're out of practice with something, then you forget and then you have to go in and play about with it a bit to remind yourself how you do it. So I'm by no means saying I am perfect at all of this, by the way. I'm just sharing some of my tips and tricks that I would use when I'm teaching or when I'm teaching Microsoft. And there's some things I do have to go back in and remind myself of. So hands up there. But
That's
yeah,
great.
thanks, Jane. No, I will figure that out and I'll send you a wee message about that. Any other questions? Oh, thanks, Emma. You're more confident. Brilliant. Let me see, what other questions do we
There was a
have?
couple of questions there, Jackie. Just while you're looking at them though, guys, just to make you aware, the recordings of Jackie's previous session on Excel and this PowerPoint will be available on the website. So basically, where you went onto the website to register, hopefully later on today or by tomorrow, the recordings of the sessions and all sessions for Future Skills Week will be on the website as well. Just also a call to action. There's so much more going on today. We've got Billy Dixon, We've got bespoke comms, we've got big motive, we've a couple of sessions kicking off at 10:30. So I'm conscious that some of you will want to head off to those. Yes. One last thing, we've a really big event happening on Thursday at 2:00. We've got some members of the Northern Ireland senior women's football team coming in to share their journey with us. So really, really excited to get these girls in. As you know, they're competing in the Euros this summer, so please come along, and they have some really good insights to share on their journey, overcoming challenges and resilience. Really important messages for you guys in terms of your whole career journey as well, and the different challenges you're facing around graduate jobs and placement and things like that. So please do register for that event. It's going to be good. Jackie, anything else you want to pick up on?
What I'm going to do is, because there's so many messages here, and thank you everybody very much for attending today, and I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something. But there are quite a lot of wee questions here. So guys, I've got to hop off because I'm hosting another session in 5 minutes, and I kind of need to go and speak to the host. But I'll go through those chat questions and pick those up. I'm doing another PowerPoint session on Friday morning. So if you want to pop along there, I'll have the answers for you then. Or if not, I'll pop them into an email and send them out just as some of the top tips for everybody that's been at my sessions this week. Thank you ever so much, by the way, for joining me today. Sorry it was a wee bit rushed, but I do want to share as many things as possible to make your life simpler. I'm going to run and go and see my other boys, and I will see you if you're coming to my other sessions in the morning. I will see you then. I'm definitely bringing coffee. All right. I will have another musical interlude by Benjamin. You're back. You have to come back every day, Benjamin, and play your guitar.
Just to let everybody know that the link to the Northern Ireland Women's Football is in the chat box, so you can go straight out to book.
Great. Thanks, Julie. Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you, Julie.
Okay.
Guys, I'm going to head, and I will see you all soon. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jackie.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
But